So I was 100% correct on this card. UFC 312 was one of the worst pay-per-view cards on paper the UFC have done in a very long time. And guess what? The card delivered to expectations. This card was shit. Let's start off with the main event, which is quite possibly the only thing I actually want to talk about on the card. DDP beat Sean Strickland very comfortably this time round. This was no, oh, is it a robbery? Blah, blah, blah. This was a clear DDP win. In my opinion, I scored the fight 4 rounds to 1. I know a lot of people give it 5 rounds to DDP. Personally, I scored rounds 1, 3, 4, and 5 to Drickus and round 2 to Sean Strickland. Although I could be wrong, I might have to go back and rewatch it. But nonetheless, it was clear that DDP won this fight. There's no him and Han. Should have went to Strickland. Everybody knows, even Strickland himself knew. Round 1, DDP started off. Basically, what this fight came down to was just activity. DDP was just the more active fighter out of him and Sean Strickland. DDP would constantly be throwing stuff at Sean Strickland, whether that be stomps to the knee, leg kicks, body kicks. DDP's left high kick was landing at certain points of Sean Strickland. It was money. We've seen him utilise that kick in the Israel Adesanya matchup. But yeah, he was constantly changing stances. In the beginning of the fight, DDP was really kick heavy, which then allowed him later on into the fight to build into it and then work his hands a lot more. But yeah, like I said, first round was clear DDP. Guy was doing good work to the body, to the legs, landed a couple high kicks in there. Sean Strickland round 2, I thought, yes, he landed less than what DDP did, but I feel like in the exchanges they had in the second round, Sean Strickland did get the better of him, and that was my issue with Sean Strickland in this fight, because, ignore the voice break, I'm sick, but I honestly felt that if Sean Strickland actually went for it and actually started throwing earlier on, this could have been a much different fight, because I felt like when, I'm just basing it off round 2 to be honest, because there wasn't really many exchanges where they did just start exchanging with each other. It was quite one-sided with DDP just leading the dance. But when Sean Strickland did decide to throw more than fucking one jab, he did land, and that's why I gave him the second round. I thought in the exchanges that him and DDP had, he landed the better shots. Sean Strickland has got really good defense. Obviously, you wouldn't have thought that with tonight's performance, because the guy did end up with a broken nose and he was busted open. But he is very hard to hit, and we did see DDP struggle with that. Now, I thought Drickus would have done more body work in terms of, yes, he landed a lot of body kicks in there, but I felt like the hands, because Sean Strickland's able to lean back. He's very, very heavy on his back leg, which allowed him to check a lot of DDP's leg kicks. But I feel like DDP was using his leg kicks to set up the body kicks, the high kicks. He wasn't really looking to really damage Sean Strickland's lead leg, because he really doesn't have much weight on that. He's very upright, leaning back, and that's why Sean Strickland's able to move his head, or why he's hard to hit. And you can see that DDP was trying to utilise a strike that should work against a style like Sean Strickland, which is coming up over the top while he's leaning back, and it did land at times. DDP, like I said, he did do the better work in there. He was more active. But round 2, I give it to Sean Strickland. I also want to say that this is why I thought DDP would win the rematch. In my opinion, his team are better game planners. And I felt like he would have made the correct adjustments and would be able to give Sean Strickland different looks. The only thing that Sean Strickland did different in this matchup was that he didn't throw enough. So he actually regressed where DDP progressed in their time apart from each other. And I thought DDP, the changing of stances was a really good job. We've seen him do that throughout his career, though that's kind of what DDP does. DDP does look like he is fighting underwater at times, but the guy's a really high-level kickboxer, in my opinion, anyway. Like, some of the stuff he's able to use, his spinning attacks, he landed a really nice spinning elbow on Sean Strickland. Can't remember what round it was, but I know he did land one, and he was looking for that spinning back fist as well, trying to have Sean Strickland circle out and then spin around and catch him with it. Obviously, wasn't successful with it, but the big thing that I seen DDP do in this matchup was the parrying of the jab. This guy done an excellent job in there of parrying Sean Strickland's jab, which is his best weapon easily. Now, I still can't believe that Sean Strickland just let the fight go away. Like, I thought DDP would have been... I thought DDP was going to knock him out, to be honest. I thought DDP was going to catch him with a left hand while he blitzed in, because Sean Strickland's so upright and leant back. I thought when DDP blitzes in and throws over the top, he would have caught him, put him down, and finished him. But Sean Strickland does have a hell of a chin on him. We've seen in the fourth round, DDP lands a perfect right hand, completely busts up Sean Strickland's nose. Like, his nose is completely fucked. Like, nose is destroyed. Blood is pissing from his face. And DDP did go for the finish. Obviously couldn't get it because Sean Strickland is a very defensively sound fighter, which does sound a bit stupid after saying he got caught and his nose was bust. But Sean Strickland's hard to hit. DDP, I thought he was going to grapple more in there, but he did land one takedown on Sean Strickland. Strickland, though, has really underrated grappling. His takedown defense is superb. His get-ups are also really, really good, and he showed that again in this matchup. It was clear 4 rounds to 1, in my opinion. What's next for Sean Strickland? I'm guessing the Apex. What's next for DDP? We do know that it is going to be the matchup against Khamzat Chimaev. Which is the fight that everybody wanted to see, if we're being honest, over this rematch. Has it changed my opinion on who I think wins between DDP and Khamzat? Not really. I do think Khamzat will win it because DDP looked really good in there, and I feel like if he can make it past the first 2 rounds with Khamzat, he is going to go on and win it. I think he might actually stop Khamzat, but my problem is DDP's looked really good against strikers recently. I just remember back to his Derek Brunson performance where he was taken down and controlled. He did win that fight, yes, but that is just something that does just stick out in my mind, and I would have liked to have seen him go in there against a high-level grappler before testing himself against Khamzat, but that's not how things work around here. The top guys in his division are Sean Strickland and Adesanya, 2 very, very high-level strikers. So he's never going to get that chance to wrestle with a high-level grappler. So he is going to go into this Khamzat Chimaev one. And for us, in terms of, he's really developed, obviously, from the Derek Brunson fight, but we haven't seen the grappling defensively from him. We've seen it offensively, and I feel like he will have some success in there. I feel like he can defend Khamzat Chimaev's takedowns just based off strength. And the thing is that Khamzat Chimaev is very dangerous in the first couple of rounds, but after that he does fade. And I thought that might have changed when he made the jump from welterweight to middleweight, but it's not. The guy just can't. The guy's just cardio deficient, if that makes any sense. You know, he's very good in one area, but not very good in that way. He needs to get on the Merab EPO diet, to be honest. If Khamzat got on that, the guy would be unstoppable. But I feel like I watched Khamzat Chimaev versus Kevin Holland. Don't ask why. Can't remember where it came up and I watched it, and obviously Khamzat took him down, dorsed him in the very first round. However, Kevin Holland was able to do a good job of kind of like rolling and getting up to his feet, and I felt like if Kevin Holland was a bit stronger, he could have out-muscled his way or even worked his way into better positions. Now, I don't think DDP is going to be fucking doing roly-polies in there against Khamzat Chimaev. However, I do feel like if he is put up against the cage, I think he will do a good job of being able to maybe get the underhook and out-muscle Khamzat. But again, I do favour Khamzat in that matchup. I'm just not convinced that DDP has the defensive wrestling to take him on. But moving on to the rest of the card, Zhang Weili beat Tatiana Suarez. Again, not much going about here. Justin Tafa might be one of the worst fighters of all time. Guy had a clean flush elbow to the face and then went down. Basically done nothing to get back up and then cried about the stoppage. Weird. Jack Jenkins getting beat. That's kind of annoying. I thought he was a good up-and-coming prospect. I was literally breaking people's fucking bones in that matchup, but unfortunately he ended up getting submitted in the 3rd round. Tom Nolan looked okay in his fight. Wang Kong gets another win. However, the aura is completely gone for her, in my opinion. After seeing her lose, it's just not the same. She was in there against another Khan. She was in there against a Khan, arguably in her last fight, and lost. She's back in there with another one this time and won by decision. Maybe if she had got a finish, people would have been looking at this different. Moving on to this fight right here, Volkanovski versus Topuria 2. Volkanovski was in the corner of Colby, and obviously Ilya was in the corner of his brother. Look, he is not Ilya Topuria, let's just call it what it is. The guy is a good fighter though. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in the UFC. I thought he would have won this matchup by decision because I think Colby is a pretty decent fighter, if I'm going to be honest. Be interested in seeing where he goes next. Overall, the rest of this card, India's never going to have a superstar, by the way, in the UFC. I'm just going to call it. Guy got stopped in the very first round, Jubilee. That was kind of like their guy they were banking on. Obviously, it is a market the UFC are going to want to hit because I'm pretty sure they've got the biggest population of any country in the world, I believe. But yeah, they're a good few years out of having there Conor McGregor. Let's just call it what it is. Kevin Jacek getting beat. Didn't really predict that one, to be honest, although didn't really pay much attention to this fight. I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch this fight. Yeah, I didn't. I went for a nap. I'm going to be honest. After the first fight, I went for a nap because I did watch the Derek Chisora fight as well, which he got a big win on, but that could be a completely different video. Probably not going to make one on that though. But yeah, let me know your opinions on UFC 312. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you again in the next one.